Holy smokes, we did it. We hit over $25,000 in our dividend investing portfolio on M1 Finance. Like, this is huge. Like, hitting this type of milestone is massive. I am so stoked. I am excited to share with you guys hitting this goal, getting to this position, because it didn't happen instantaneously and it took a little over 2 years to get to this point. So let me share this with you guys. I think you guys can get some value out of this overall. But for those who have been following along for a little bit, the market, of course, has been kind of up and down over the last couple of weeks. So let's just kind of take a look at how the portfolio actually has done in that time. So you could see in the last day we did a good we had a good time in the market. We did over $330 in gains. Over the last week, we are actually up $1,161, especially when you consider the fact that we had a really rough couple early weeks here in March. You could even see in the last month we are actually still down on the portfolio, but no fears, because if you've been paying attention or if you kind of know what to do when the market is down, it is a good time to buy. And I'm going to show you that too, because I have been buying like a madman. So you could see here we're down about $418, and you can actually see it right here. So the market has kind of been like in February was kind of down, and then boom, I injected it with a bunch of extra deposits that week. It goes down a little bit, boom, I inject it with even more. Goes down a little bit, boom, I inject some more, continue to inject some more. And I'll show you this actually in my activities feed, so you guys can believe me. So you can see here, you can ignore that $4. It was just a small dividend that paid out, which I reinvested, which is always a great thing. Compound interest. Right over here, you can see, look, March 9th, we did $211 total deposit, or, well, total trade. This trade was $403. This was, what, $303? But if you look at the dates, March 8th, March 9th, March 5th, actually, let me see if I can clear this up really quick and show you guys a little bit more on this. Let's just do deposits, because that'll make it easier. There we go. So March 9th, 8th, 5th, 4th, 3rd. Did another one on the 3rd. Actually, that one was different. That was for the borrow feature. We got the 2nd, we got the 1st. Like check that out. That is a lot of deposits. And this is coming from someone who was typically doing like one deposit a week, around $250. And then every once in a while I'd put in a little bit more. But because of the way the market was going, I just started throwing a bunch more money in to the market as a whole, just so that way we can buy on the dip. Now, we didn't know when the actual bottom hit and if it's going to go back up continuing or if it's going to come back down. I still don't know that. But what I did know was some of the stocks I owned were actually cheaper than when I originally bought them, and some of them were at a really good price point from their 52-week highs. So for me, I'm just like, okay, well, let me buy some more, because that was the goal anyways, is long-term investing. So it doesn't matter at this moment where they're currently sitting. It matters in 15 years when I want to pull some of these dividends out, or, take some of the gains from these stocks. So that's why I put in a bunch more money. But let me show you guys. When it comes to like building this up, perfect. It's in my all-time. We're up about 4,173. That's completely from stocks that I've sold for gains. That's dividends I've earned. For anybody that's curious about just regular gains, right now we're up $3,200. So the difference between those two numbers is that's unrealized. This is with some gains that have already been realized on this account. But let me show you. Let's go back in time, right? Back to the past. Right over here. So let me actually zoom in on here a little bit more. Let me get myself back in screen here. Okay. So you can see this. This is a value over time chart. We're not all time. Let's actually move this so we can see that lovely 25,000 there. So right over here on, what was it? January 23rd, 2019, I put in $100 into this account. $100. That's it. That's all you need with M1 Finance, which really quick, by the way, if you are finally like, you know what, that's it, I need to get started, check out my link down below. Currently, they're still giving you a $30 bonus. Obviously, that can end at any time, but that does get you started, and it does also support the channel, which, I can keep on doing stuff like this entirely for free for you guys. But $100, that's all I put in. Nothing else. I invested in an ETF, I invested in Microsoft, and I invested in Tesla. That was all I did. I had no idea what I wanted to do long term, but I knew that I needed to get started with this. I invested a long time ago in the past, then we put it on hold because we were investing for businesses, but once I got back into it, I'm like, okay, what do I want as an investor to have this portfolio focus on? And so over that time, what I decided to do was, okay, I'm not going to put a lot of money in. Let me just figure things out first, build up my investing style with this platform, and then go ahead and start chunking in a lot more money. So the first couple of weeks, I honestly didn't really do much. I just kind of let it sit there. And all right, I had to like reset my camera thing. So I'm, for some reason, looking a little fuzzy here. But nonetheless, what we were talking about. So I only invested a little bit. And then what I kept doing was investing a little bit more once I started having an understanding. So you can see here, we jumped up from like 105 for over a month and some change. I just didn't do anything, to be honest. I just kind of let it sit there. Then I was like, okay, we got to take action. Let's start putting some money in. So we started throwing in some money. I decided to end up going, I think it was like $10 a week. $10 a week. That's it. That's all I did. $10 a week for a little while there. I just kind of started throwing in some money. I started trying to figure out what was it that I really wanted to invest in. Like, what are the companies? How many did I want to have? I at one point got up to like 44 companies, and then I figured out that was way too much for me because I wanted to focus on the companies I did like. And then so I kind of trimmed things down. I'm down to about 27 holdings total. And then I started bumping up to $20 a week. Then I started going up to $30 a week. Started feeling really confident. I was like, hey, this is doing good. I'm starting to make some dividends, get some earnings every single month. Then I bumped it up to 40. And then I just kind of kept moving forward. Like I just kept going. And then I kept moving it up higher and higher. I got to $50 a week, give or take. Actually, it was like $40 to $50 a week. So you can see kind of like this growth here. So within the first year, let's get to the 1 year marker here. It's like 23rd. There we go. So in the first year that I had it, I went from putting in $100 to exactly a year later, the total value of the portfolio was $1,366, right? Hey, how many people can say that they have $1,300 in investments? Not a lot, which is unfortunate. We want more people to do that. So that's why I said, check out the link down below for getting started with M1 after this video. So what I decided to do was, okay, let's start bumping things up. And then everything went crazy down in, I think, what was the end of February, beginning of March of 2020 with, everything going down in the world. And I saw the value of, my stocks going down. Didn't freak out because I've been investing before in the past. So I know that when things are red, it's not scary. It's a time to buy. So then I kept putting money in and I started chunking it. I say chunking again. Throwing a chunk of money in more than I was before. I think I started doing almost like $100 a week or something like that. And then I really started getting an idea of where the portfolio was and like where I wanted it to go. So you can see here, because we were at 1,300 back in January, so 2,600 is about double that. So by April, I was already doubling how much I had total in value in the portfolio. Obviously, a good chunk was what I put in, but then there was also growth as well too. And then we kind of keep moving. So on like 5,000 something, like 5,200 is close to doubling right there. That only took till May. Again, that's a lot of me putting extra money in and kind of getting all of that in there. Then we had a little bit of a slowdown sometime in June. So the market went down a little bit. I'm pretty sure I bought some more in. And then we just kind of kept going. And then what happened was, as I kind of got more comfortable, I decided to start investing more. Yeah, I went to that $100 a week. Then I went to like 125. Then I went to 150, 175. Then I got to 200, 250, 300. And right now I'm like around 300, 350 aside from this last couple of weeks just because of how much of a dip it's been. And I've also trying to make sure that I have some like cash on hold. So in case things happen like the market did, I had the ability to do so. So you could see here, in August of 2020, I hit over $10,000 in my portfolio. And that's a huge milestone to hit. $10,000 is just, it's mind-blowing, to have that amount of money sitting in your portfolio. And the best part is, since this is an investment, that money can grow over time with compound interest, right? Like dividends but getting paid out, the value going up, all this different stuff. It's just insane. So we keep going, we have ups and downs in the market. We kind of had a stall in like October, but you could see here, we're still at $14,200 almost. Then we keep going up. We keep investing more. This is when we started getting to like that $250 a week. And you could see here, 20,000 by January 7th of 2021, right? So if we go back, what was it for 10,000? Was give or take August. So from August to January, we ended up doubling how much we had in here. Now, granted, again, that's a good chunk of what I'm putting in, but there's also growth, there's compounding. There's also just like the idea that when you keep investing, like you get excited about it. That's actually why I love making these videos, is because it encourages me to keep putting in more money so I can see it grow, so I can share with you guys. Now, if we keep kind of moving up on this chart, you can see here, we also had some craziness happen in kind of like mid-February and stuff like that. And then we had a really big drop in like early March, which is why you kind of see like these zigzags here, is because when the market was going down, I just kept throwing money in, brought up the total value, money went down, the value went down, put more money in, the value went back up and all that stuff too. So now, we go back here, we look in the last week, I put in about $900, but the market has gained almost $1,100. Now, obviously, that's with shares that I've owned before and everything else that kind of built up towards that too. But it didn't start with me just putting in a bunch of money. Like I put in $100, you saw that, and then I kept adding into it and making it effective for me, because I think people don't understand that when it comes to investing, it's really all about consistency. Like you have to build up that habit. It doesn't just happen instantaneously. You have to work towards it so you can get to a point where you have $25,000 in your portfolio and you're like, yeah, that's totally chill. That's a normal thing for me because I have big ambitions down the road. For me, this portfolio, at least, like I think I mentioned, I already have other investing portfolios with different investing goals. But for this one right here, I have it named Dividend Dentist for a reason. This one is a somewhat mostly focused on dividend portfolio. So that way, in about 15 years or so, I can use this money that I earn from this portfolio to pay for anything that I want in my life, whether it's for travel, which is kind of the main goal, or other things, or I could just keep it in there and keep investing, but I'll have the opportunity to make that decision because I'm focusing on it today. Now, to a lot of people, like 25,000 is probably more than you'll ever feel like you can get to, but I promise if you just build up slowly over time, even that $10 a week, heck, even if you can do $5 a week, like you're going to make an impact. You're going to make an impact. Like just deposit it into your account. And then, once you get enough, then you can invest with these companies. Because one thing I want to show you here too is with my portfolio, they do fractional shares on M1 Finance, so you can actually buy in fractional pieces instead of the whole amount. And I'm going to show you this. So let's go to our activities. We're going to go to the very first one. Now, remember I told you I bought into 3 stocks. So I bought into Vanguard, I bought into Tesla, and I bought into Microsoft. Check this out. With Tesla, I bought this. This was January 23rd, 2019. This was before their stock split. It was at $292. Can you just imagine if you can get into Tesla before the split at $292? Like a lot of people wish they could. Obviously, I didn't put a lot in, but $5 got me, what was that? About a little over 1%, like 1.5% kind of stuff. But what it did was it got me excited to get invested. I started building up. I started buying more. Like this one right here, I bought another. It's $1.68, but it was $1.68 more into the company. And then I just kept doing that. You can see. Actually, let's do this. Let me put myself down here. Let's do the deposit. So remember, I told you $100 first. I put in a little bit in March, $20 a piece, and then I was like, you know what? Let's just do weekly. But look how long it took me. Like, I can only imagine if I said January 2019, I'm gonna start investing, and I'm just gonna put $10 in a week. If I started doing that earlier, I would have been even better than where I am today. But I didn't. I was a little hesitant, and then finally in May, that's when I really started doing the $10 a week. I really did that. Like, check this out. $10, and then boom, I did a little bit extra every once in a while. Then we did $20 there. Let's go to the next one. Then we did 20, maybe got a little bonus or got a little extra money, did 120 there. Boom, put 150 every once in a while. Then we got 20, then boom, right there. We got some 30s in there, a little bit bumping up here and there. But this is all to show you that, like, just start doing it. Like, just start investing your money in whenever you can, because it's going to have an impact on your portfolio. Like hello, like why wouldn't you want that? So let me kind of quickly show you some of the different stocks that I have in this portfolio as well. So in case you're kind of interested in seeing some of these stocks. Now, these are obviously not recommendations. These are just things that work for my portfolio. So keep that in mind. So we got some Apple here. We got the S&P 500 fund here. This is the growth one. So keep that in mind. It's a little riskier on that front. We got Microsoft. We got Tesla. We got NextEra Energy. We got Home Depot, Amazon, Google, which I know they're not dividend paying companies, at least not of yet, but I still wanted to buy into them. We got Lockheed Martin, we got Aflac, we got AT&T, Realty Income, Digital Realty Trust, we got Discover Financials, Johnson & Johnson, New Residential, we got Ross, Ally, got some Pepsi in there, ADP, we got Facebook, Costco, AbbVie, Procter & Gamble, Starbucks, Visa, and Texas Instrument right over here. So you can see some of them are in the positive, some of them are currently in the negatives. You can see some of our like total gains here. These couple companies we're currently in the red as far as unrealized gains, so we're actually buying them on the dip as we currently are right now, getting some extra discounts, lowering our dollar cost average, which is always a great thing to do too. But yeah, these are the companies that I decided to go with. If you like these companies, if you are interested in them, obviously check them out yourself. Do me a favor though too, while you're looking at this stuff and kind of deciphering which ones might work for you, hit that like button down below. Really helps out the channel, really helps us continue to grow. Obviously you can also make sure you hit that subscribe because you're in there as well. You can get updates with this portfolio because I actually share this portfolio probably on like a weekly basis. I also share with you guys the dividends that I get. So I'm like jumping back and forth here. So with our dividends, like I like showing people, the dividends we make. We got $4.24 coming in from Johnson & Johnson. We got like $3 coming in from Pfizer. Aflac paid us $5. Relay to Income paid us almost $3 here. So I like showing people this stuff. We got AT&T for almost $14.56 here. New Residential for $12. So I build all this stuff up to share with you guys my journey, to share with you what I'm doing with my investing, because I think it helps other people, right? Like I think you guys getting to see other people's portfolios can really get you an idea of like what's possible for you to be able to achieve great things as well too. Now you don't want to carbon copy anybody here on YouTube, whether it's my channel or anybody else's. I think the biggest thing you can do is just get ideas of what can work for you, test things out, start investing with it. Like I said, $100 for M1 Finance is what you need to get started. But after that, you just put in whatever you can and you just make it work. I think it's a really important thing to go through the motions of understanding things. Don't wait until you have, $10,000 to invest, but have never done it. Start with 100. Test things out. You're going to make failures, you're going to make successes, but you're going to learn from that. And I think that $100 is going to be well worth the experiment of what it is that you want to do with your investments. But I think the biggest thing to do that with is constantly learning and growing and watching YouTube channels that talk about investing so you can keep doing it. And in order to do that, I want you to click my video that's right over here because that's the next video that you can check out so you can keep on learning more about your investing. My name is Dennis, and I will catch you in that next video.